Hello, this is MARSHALgoldpack. This is my audio log part 12. So, at the very end of 2014, in the start of December, Goldpack just... It's not his first time, but back in the day when we were looking for a host clan to join, well, when I was looking for a host clan to join, just to be a part of and to make it epic, if we had have come across Legacy of Nations, I probably would have joined them, but after everything that's happened, I did not want to join a clan again. I want Goldpack to be the ultimate clan. I mean, I already made that decision, and I was sticking with it. So, the Legacy of Nation merged into Goldpack, and that was pretty big. We had already so many people, but now, I mean, we lost a couple. They probably lost a couple because, you know, those were people that were super not okay with the idea and just popped away immediately. But besides that, we gained about 30, about 30 people from this merge, 35 probably. And it was just, you know, it was great. Really, it was something I really needed after the Great Conquest didn't work out, because boy did I want that thing. I devoted so much time into the Great Conquest because I wanted it to be ultimately the Great Conquest for clans on Halo Reach before Halo 5 comes out and slaughters what's left of Halo Reach. However, I learnt so much from it. I'm so happy about that, and invented some pretty good things. One of the best things that come out of the Great Conquest was probably a flat war. I invented a few game modes to strategically value clans and how good they were when versing other clans in the Great Conquest. And while doing all my research and information gathering on pretty much everything that's already existed, the best, like, you've got MLG people, and in BTB they can be like, 1v1 me bro, just kill. Like, get 40% of the team and pretty much win a game, like carry the rest of the noobs and win a game. I've done that all the time in a random matchmake game. I mean, God, it's so easy. But there's this game mode called Team Tactical. And its origin for Team Tactical is that it's supposed to be a game mode where it's not about how professional a player can be, but it's supposed to be relying on teamwork. And don't get me wrong, it is great for teamwork, and better teams do often win. However, I've played many games of it, and many times have I seen a couple of better people absolutely annihilate a whole bunch of weak people, which it relies on probably skill just as much as teamwork. I think they equal themselves out, where BTB better players will always beat a team. Like a bunch of MLG people will just flog a good team on BTB. Unless it's Goldpack. No, actually, we're really good at versing MLG people. You see, we wouldn't try to win the game or try to do good. We'll just try and tie the enemy. Oh, I'm going off topic. But it was so fun. That's why we vote for like captured flag. It's like, don't let them get our flag. And it's so great coming across like a BTB team, and you don't beat them, but you don't lose to them. You tie them, and you see, I've been in, before I started Goldpack 3rd Gen, I've been in so many BTB groups, and the only thing they care more than getting positive KD spread is winning games. And I try to win. I kid you not. These BTB professional groups will like win 20 or 15 BTB games in a row on Halo Reach, or any game. They like to add how many games can they flawlessly win without losing. And it's great because you come across Goldpack, and what they do is that they kill people, they just slaughter people, and they don't even care about the objective. They'll just refuse to do the objective for 80% of the game. Then on the last 20%, that's when they'll actually care about the objective, score, and win, so they get like the best victory ever. But with Goldpack, they'll do capture flag or bomb assault, and I'd be screaming at them as I'm like, you better not leave this game, you're staying to the end, and I'll force people not to leave, because I hate the idea of the BTB group being all like, these newbie clan people are going to get thrashed, because that's pretty much the attitude. They think they got balls like the size of helmets. It's hilarious. Because on the last 20%, that's when GOLDPACK, our tactics really kick in, and we refuse to let them get the flag, score the bomb, or get the skulls. Whatever the objective was, we would refuse to let them win. But we wouldn't win at the same time, because we weren't trying to win, we were trying to tie them. And despite how professional and epic they were, like, we've had so many close matches, but we managed to just tie them, and I'd get so frustrated. It's like, booyah. Oh, I miss doing that. It's like, that's the fact. Ultimate teamwork can prevail over skill. However, teamwork is more difficult to utilize. You've got to utilize it professionally. That's why GOLDPACK was so great, because we knew how to use teamwork to our advantage. I mean, we're all about it. Anyway, not veering off track. Flat wars were invented because Team Tactical was not good enough. Team Tactical relied on skilled people as much as it did for teamwork. So, after all the investigating, I could not find a game mode better than Team Tac to be based off a game mode where it's supposed to rely on teamwork and just about nothing else. So I invented my own, and that was the birth of Flat Wars. You see, a Flat War is kind of like a Bungie style map. I made it myself, but it's supposed to be as symmetrical as possible, where both sides of the field are pretty much even, like Blood Gulch and Valhalla, like those maps, like symmetrical on both sides pretty much, so there's no odd level field. And there's no, okay, the rules have not been modified. Like in Team Tac, they take away your shields and stuff like that, but as far as like the abilities of what you can do, they haven't been modified. It's all normal. But what you spawn with is completely different. And the rules are different. The time limit is 1 hour. And the kill limit is 500 kills. And what you spawn with is a spike as a secondary, and your primary weapon is an assault rifle. You don't have infinity ammo, just your average clips. And you have one single grenade. And scattered randomly in plain sight on the grass or in the middle of a rock around the middle type of location of the map will be some assault rifles for spare ammunition. But most of the time in a flat war, you're relying on killing the enemy and taking the ammo if possible. But that's the point. In a flat war, you haven't got a sniper, there's no DMRs. You do have an energy shield, but it's not like you can just run in there, kill a bunch of people, and then run away. It's simply not like that. And I've tested this theory so many times. The only way to win a flat war is by teamwork. And this is so incredible, because once I got to test it on a MLG bunch, like, I pretty much had to pat their heads and stroke their bums just to get them to do it. But I got a BTB group, like professional diehards, are all like 1v1 me, and they're all inheritors. I got them to 8v8 GOLDPACK in a flat war. They thought it was stupid as crap, but they're so cocky. I managed to convince them to do it, and when they did it, we flogged them. Because they tell people what to do, but they don't have army style tactics of warfare when you're talking about big groups of people. Because in BTB you're spread out everywhere, but on flat war you're all confined into the Blood Gulch with boulders everywhere. There's no buildings, no teleporters, no weird stuff, just very basic. And the only way to kill people is to get more guns pointing at one person in particular instead of everyone shooting everyone equally. And you got to make sure you have less casualties when you kill people. And the only way to perform that successfully in a flat war is to use the tactics of commanding people in a coordinated attack. Like, everyone go for the guy on the left, or everyone go for the guy on the right. Or if you lose your energy shield, stop shooting and run away, and let the people with shields finish the job. It's completely 1 quadrillion% teamwork. And the assault rifle and the spiker are very basic weapons. They're not accurate. When you shoot, they become inaccurate. I mean, you can master them with burst round fire, but newbie people are just about as effective with assault rifle as professional people. And since that was invented to where we are now, we've never lost a flat war. And I cannot tell you how many times we've come close to losing a flat war. Because we've played over a dozen flat wars, and unfortunately I only got to record 3 of them. I did have more, but there was a system fail and I lost a lot of my memory on Halo, unfortunately. But yeah, flat wars are just so great. And so I'm the mummer. Mum's rule after a couple of weeks, I'm not sure particular when. I have it written down, but I don't have it with me. She eventually changed her name quite quickly to XX, I'm the mama XX. And she was promoted to a colonel, and it did not take long at all till she became brigadier, because I told her what she needed to do, and unlike a lot of idiots in the community and ex-leaders, she listened because she knew herself. She was quite new to... She knew how ugly the community was, but she was new. But she listened. She listened to the fact that I said, don't be too outrageous. Don't give extreme commands. This pretty much will be your clan. But right now you need to learn how GOLDPACK does it. And settle yourself in a little bit first. And she did that. I showed her our bases, which were now hers as well. Because, she's second in command. You're an officer in GOLDPACK. The maps are yours. But she had authorization to use them whenever, except for the HQ. I mean, not for a raid. You can't do that. It has to be the last map we have before we use it for a raid, unless it's authorization from the Supreme Leader. And the GOLDPACK Octagon Council, it's been very secretive. The Octagon Council is the inside group of GOLDPACK that would talk about espionage and diplomatic affairs that could be extremely sensitive to low-ranking members of GOLDPACK or members in the community that aren't a part of GOLDPACK, that aren't meant to be public. We'd talk about spies and information and other clans and which ones are threats and which ones should we target next, and how plans that could be considered sensitive information. That was the real purpose of the Octagon Council. And Mama, the Octagon Council at that time could only ever have a maximum of 8 people. And it was like that since it was invented. And the only people I could join were ones authorized by me. And sometimes we would lay it to a diplomatic vote that other members of the Octagon Council can recommend someone. We would review them and let them in, etc. But Mama came straight in, and she got to choose one of her members. But because she had a son and a daughter, they both immediately got in, along with what's his name? Arbiter of Light. Apparently he's the Arbiter of Light, and he became part of the Octagon Council as well. So it was the first time in history the Octagon Council had, at that time, 8 members, which has never happened before. I mean, at that time, GOLDPACK had 200 members, so it makes sense that the Octagon Council managed to get 8 members, which was pretty insane. That was the first for me, and it's been around for years, since we made the map in 2010, since I made the map, the Octagon Council. And yeah, it was just so... It's hard to explain just how incredible GOLDPACK was when Mama first joined. We had some members that we had to court-martial out of the clan because of their disagreements with the decision of allowing Mama to become second in command. It was radical, but at the end of the day, you have to trust your leader. If you don't, then there's no place for you within that clan. And that happened immediately for some people. They refused to give Mama the chance, and they were dealt with pretty quickly and severely. For Mama members that disagreed with me and not wanting her to be a part of GOLDPACK, they weren't... 2 of them left, but a couple of the rest that didn't like it weren't dealt with, because I'm really easygoing with other people. I wasn't on my bad side. And I can understand why they didn't like me at the time. I mean, I'm a new person, they don't know me, they have to get to know me, which is why I told Mama to take it easy with leading so she can get to know GOLDPACK before she starts commanding the main bulk of GOLDPACK. It only took like a fortnight of Mama being the clan before she was cozy and she was promoted to a lieutenant general, a rank very, very few people has ever made in GOLDPACK. And Mama made it legitimately because of the number count and the loyal members she had that did merge into GOLDPACK, uniform and all. So insane, I loved it. So we're at 200 members and we were just raiding clans non-stop. I kid you not, like we whenever would us reminds me as well that Mama's maps were pretty cool, except I had a really problem against them, really big problem. One, half the maps technically didn't belong to her. Secondly, every single one of them was OP. And I told her that I will fix them and justify them by modifying them so they're acceptable and they follow the GOLDPACK standard, so none of the bases we use were OP. But I just got Mama to download a whole bunch of my maps and said you can use them for any raid you want. Any of these maps are not primary bases, but they're really amazing bases. Use them whenever you want. And it's funny because Mama and everyone that knows her really well, they all live in America and I live in Australia. And GOLDPACK at that time had more than 200 members. There was not a period of 5 hours where GOLDPACK was not active. I flipping kid you not. When the Americans were all asleep and cozy, you know, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, around that time, Australia's just up, active, and I'm leading and giving orders, and then when I have to go to bed, I'll stay up late. I was a pretty naughty boy back then, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't help myself, I just loved it too much. However, the nights I did choose to go to bed at 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, or 11, GOLDPACK didn't sleep, because Mama would be up, happy, and leading the clan within a couple of minutes or an hour or two. I kid you not, GOLDPACK was just a constantly turning wheel. There was seriously, it barely slept. It was just something I've never seen before. I've never seen it. I know that has happened sometimes with clans that get past 200 members. It kind of becomes like that. But the fact is that Mum and me were like a single coin that had two faces. And we were the ultimate people that led GOLDPACK. We were just in charge of GOLDPACK. So one side leading it at this particular time of day and the other particular time of day, Mama was leading it. And all the members that trusted me and stayed up would be following her. It was just great. And it's quite interesting because I never agreed with having different uniforms. We only wore sage and yellow and black and yellow for the officers and above. And we all wore the bear claw. Black octagon, yellow paw, white nails. We kept like that. I said, never will we have a reason to use a different format because we do not need to. We all look like any other gross scummy clans that had a bunch of different uniforms and serves no purpose. They're living in their fantasy worlds and it looks disgusting and I refuse to be a part of that. So we refrained from doing silly stuff like that, despite how many people persistently wanted to, and I'd have to demote some of the idiots just to get them to stop. But this was interesting because I found that when you have over 200 members, we're all happy, we look up to GOLDPACK, we just love it to death. But when you get into a lobby or a meeting, 16 people every time, or a training session, 16 people every time, every single one of those people are normally in sage and yellow with the same emblem. And there's so many people, and the thing is, in Mama's clan, there were some Saint-Gillies. And Arbiter of Light was a trained Arbiter by some Arbiter religion in the community. An Arbiter clan or group. Bloodline, yeah, an Arbiter bloodline. trained Arbiter of Light, and he really wanted to be an Arbiter. And you see, in Goldpack, we said, yeah, dude, we love St. Keely's. We are not a UNSC clan. We often despise UNSC scummy clans. We allow St. Keely's in Goldpack. We fight side by side. There's no problem to it. And he was so happy, except you could only be the Ranger class elite. Because, let's admit it, the Ranger armor almost looks like it was a hybrid Spartan armor for elites. It's got the face mask. The armor isn't all curvy and honorable St. Keelios looking. It's really epic armor. I love the Ranger armor. And that was the only one they could use. But when you have over 200 people, there was just so much of it. So many people. They begin to feel like a brick in the wall. I mean, sometimes we would have games, there would be like 3 privates, 4 lance corporals, and that's just a lot of lance corporals. We call people out by their rank, but not by their name. We're like, corporal, come over here. And you get 4 people replying to the one order, and it's like, shit. So, people were complaining. People are always complaining that they want more uniforms. Except there's so many people. I hosted an Octagon Council meeting before we hosted the public clan meeting with 16 people. An Octagon meeting's only 8 speakers or less, and the rest are all bodyguards to keep us safe. Pretty epic. Like, those were the only meetings we had bodyguards at, pretty much. So, we sat down and chat, and I thought, okay, I never thought I'd ever come to a decision, but I think that now we seriously have so many members, it would be a good decision and a good time to add in a division, a group, an elite force, or something where we can utilize a different uniform. And they dead set loved the idea. They just loved it. I said, okay, give me a couple of days and I'll make some designs, and I promise you guys, you'll probably like a few of them. And they agreed. They immediately came up with designs of their own. I said, no. No one's making a design. No one. And I was talking to the Octagon Council, and they thought that was a little bit rude, but I said, look, I'm very strict about this stuff. When we make the decision, pictures are made, videos are recorded, it will kind of last forever. It has to be perfect. So, a couple days later, I worked on that, but before those days came, we were nearing the absolute end of December, and we were running out of, like, often when we came across small clans that we would raid, we would ask them if I'd like to merge in a gold pack and get decisions. And I said, look, there's a lot of gross clans out there. If you're not going to do it the right way, and you're only going to have 10 or 15 members and still do raids with other clans, you're going to come across sweaty clans that will try and destroy you from the inside out and recruit you. Would you like to walk in the gold pack honorably, get some high ranks, and we can all be one big clan together? And it's funny, because with Mama by my side, it was twice as easy to get little clans to merge in the gold pack. Even the leader. I've never had so many small-time leaders merge in a gold pack. It was just a magical time, a magical era for gold pack. But it's funny, because I hosted a meeting. It's like, evil is still out there. Justice never rests us. We should go and annihilate the 99th Regiment. And funny, because Mama's members didn't really say much, but my members were screaming and laughing and happy, because we're in a 16-player meeting, and we're like, there's so many people. Like, it's funny, when the meeting I announced that we should outright flatten the 99th Regiment, there's so many people that one of Mama's officers hosted another meeting at that time, which had like nearly 16 people in it. We had 2 16-player meetings virtually. And after I was done with my meeting, I joined the other meeting and explained the same thing. It was crazy. It really was crazy. And when I left, the members of the old meeting wanted to join the new meeting and hear it again. I'm like, guys, no, there's no room. But we explained it twice to like 30 members, and they told it to the rest of the clan. I always send out big ass messages, and this was another maxed out message about flat out war for the 99th Regiment. Let's do it. Let's flatten them. I beat them in a 1v1. They were refusing to talk to us, and I thought, nah, we've got so much power, it would be ridiculous not to annihilate the 99th Regiment, and we did it. We went flat out war. I got a couple of spies. We chatted about it in the Octagon Council exactly how we're going to do it. We're going to send the spies to the clan. We're going to send in a couple of average members into the clan. They thought they're spies, but technically they really weren't. We just wanted them to cause annoying trouble. We wanted war, and we weren't going to take no as an answer unless they admitted that they were crappy. I needed Dr. Dre himself to say, leave me alone, as they stop picking on me. And we got one battle, a BTB with them. We beat them in that. I'd like to say we kicked their ass, but we only won by a couple of points because Dr. Dre, as always, picks his time zone and his members, his best members. He's such a dickhead. But Mama is American. Mama had her own good fighters, and we were able to compete pretty well with Dr. Dre, because normally we'd have to suffer his disgusting and hideous lag, but this time Mama had a lot of Americans, and she had some pretty good players on her side. Only a couple, but nonetheless they were good players. And we beat him at that one, and then we did another BTB and he beat us in that. And then suddenly when he beat us once in the BTB, bang, he refused to fight us. And after 2 days, and this was like 2 days away from Christmas, and like 2 days away from Christmas, Dr. Dre was like, I managed to squirm my way into his party. One of my spies invited me. He left. Then one of Dr. Dre members left. It was Dr. Dre and just me. And one of my guys joined. I said, get out of the party. And he left. I'm at invite only. And Dr. Dre he was about to leave. I'm like, don't leave. Don't you leave. Yeah, don't you leave. And he's like, what do you want? And I'm like, look, stop being a scumbag. Stand up. Fight us like a man. We want a battle. You owe us many battles. You claim you have hundreds of members. Come on, prove it to us. Show us how good you are, Dr. Dre. Let me record this for my clan. And he said, look, just leave me alone. I don't want to deal with you anymore. Okay? Just leave me alone. I seriously do not want to value you. And then he left the party. And he sounds so annoyed. And I was like, just dumped me. And I went back to my party chat with 8 people. Well, I told one of them to leave. I joined. I said, wait, people should hear this. I hosted an immediate meeting, and this was like the next day, a day before Christmas, and I was like, guys, this is one of GOLDPACK's most insane days that's ever existed since it's been founded, and I'm only going to say it's one. Dr. Dre has just claimed he's been defeated. Oh my god, we couldn't stop screaming. We went on to GOLDPACK DJ Panda base, which is a party base, and we just honestly just laughed and joked the whole entire time. I told him that, yep, he refused to battle us. He admitted he did not want to battle us anymore. And he did not say he gave up or he was defeated, like as if Dr. Dre would ever do something honorable for once. But when a leader that has about 100 members in the clan refuses to do battle, that's them virtually saying, we've had enough, I give up, leave me alone. And, that was more than enough for me. And when we got into January, the community was revolting and uprising against GOLDPACK, and it was intense. Like, we've never had so many problems hitting us all at once, and Mum and me had to headbutt those issues together head on, and it was just wow. You've got to hear it. But this is the end of this audio log. And I'm MARSHALgoldpack, and I'll see you for part 13. As always, see you on the flip side, Spartans.